Okay. Hello, my name's Nneka, and this is my mum Cecilia, and we're visiting Peter at the moment. And we thought we'd do a little YouTube thingy for my channel, because I got a Christmas present from my mum, which is a computer. And my mum is terrified of computers. So, Peter being an expert, aren't you, Peter?
Hardly an expert, but I am an old person, and I have become not frightened of them anymore, and I hope that with Nneka's help that you too can reach a stage where you'll get great enjoyment from your computer.
Hopefully. With patience.
So what's the sort of concern? Why are you sort of scared about computers, Mum?
Well, not exactly scared, but I had to use one at work when I was working. I'm now retired. And it was I found it so boring.
Oh.
I mean, I'm talking about prior to 1999. So I'm sure things have improved since then.
Just a little bit.
So I'm just going to try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because you don't know anything really about the internet, do you?
No, not really.
And you love reading.
I do.
And to me it's like the internet, it's like you have a library in your own home. You can click onto anything.
Excellent.
And research anything.
Excellent.
Have you got any questions that you'd like to ask Peter? How you got started, maybe?
Yes, Peter, how did you get started?
Well, I, like you, was scared, and I couldn't see any reason for having a computer, but I thought that it was part of the modern world and that I should have one, and therefore I bought one, and then of course had to learn to use it, and I didn't really have anybody to help me. So on every program you're on a computer, you've got a help file, which means there's instructions of what to do. So I started to learn that way, and then in my case subsequently I decided to go to college to just learn basic IT, which means information technology, doesn't it, or something, all the things you can do on a computer, and it's a gradual process. But I think the great thing that you will enjoy is the fact of the internet, and everything is done on the internet these days, from research to buying things to ordering your food, finding out, booking air passages and train journeys, and it's a whole world of joy. And one of the other things that I think you'll find useful is that there are programs whereby you can speak to people all over the world and include video of yourself, so it's like being in the same room with relations you might have Australia, Japan, America, or even next door. So there's no need, I mean, there are great joys, but I do understand that I have many friends who just won't know about computers because they say, why do I want one, you know, but only after you've got one will you find reasons, really.
Thank you, Peter.
Like Luke, which is my nephew, your grandson, he books your tickets, doesn't he, to go to Ireland?
He does.
And you're going to do that yourself?
Yes, the only thing wrong with that is on my last trip...
I know it's coming.
On my last trip, I checked in at the airport at Heathrow, and the lady said, now that will be £5 for your suitcase. He'd failed to book the suitcase, so I had to pay £5, and I really objected to it. I was really cross. It actually made me cross for about an hour.
Oh dear. Well, that's very sad. I don't understand, because I thought in any time you take a suitcase onto an aeroplane, it'll go free at a certain weight.
Indeed.
But I mean, you were probably overweight.
No, I wasn't.
Peter, what, are you insulting my mum?
I wasn't, Peter. It was an ordinary... In fact, I was very careful. It was just one suitcase now was what I was booking on. I've previously booked 2 on and not been charged.
Well, I didn't even know you had to book a suitcase, so
put it through on the little runner, you know.
Yeah, I know, yes, into
£5,
luggage.
And I had to go, and you couldn't duck, you see. If you thought you were going to duck, you then had to get your boarding card when you paid for it.
All right.
And the same thing happened at Shannon on my way back.
Oh well, bad luck. But I don't really think we can blame the internet.
No,
No,
do
that's
you?
true. But
That's the airline.
I complained about the airline. That's the first time it's ever happened, Peter, and I've been travelling with Aer Lingus for 50 years.
You reminded them of that fact, I suppose.
You
I
did.
did go
I thought you might.
rather for spite now.
Yes.
They're discontinuing the link from Shannon to Heathrow, not because of what I say.
Now, what you could do, Mum, with the internet, you
Yes.
could write an email to this airline and
yes.
complain.
Well, yes, of course, email. I mean, there's so many wonderful things that you can do, and I'm very pleased that Nneka has given you this as a Christmas present, and I guarantee you'll probably find she can't get you off the thing now.
Indeed, exactly.
True. I hope I won't get too hooked. I have too much else to do. You know?
Well, that's
housework, I guess.
that's another thing that people say, but I mean, you have to get your priorities right.
Indeed.
I mean, the internet comes first.
If you say so, Peter.
Well, no, it's very nice that you've expressed those worries, because they're worries that so many people I know have, and there's no need to. And it's like any other tool. You use it for what you want to use it for, and you use it when you want to use it. But I think the whole world is moving over to everything being on the internet. I mean, you can watch your television programs there, etc., and you listen to your radio programs when you want to, not to be tied down to schedules on the thing.
Exactly.
You may not want to do that, but every department of the media is recognising the power of computers and the internet. So I think you should come up to speed and
Indeed.
bring yourself into the 21st century.
It's nice that you had that faith, Peter.
I've got a funny story. Have you got enough time, Peter?
It's up to you. You've had 7 minutes.
All right,
so
I've got a
That's
funny
enough.
little story. My oldest nephew, Dan, he was like having, I don't know how it, well, I wasn't there, but I'll tell the story anyway, and you can
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, Mum. And my brother's a few years older than me, and he said, "Oh, Dad, you're stuck in the 60s. And then my mum, thinking that she's a trendy granny, she said, "Oh, Dan, and what about
Where am
me?
I?"
Where am I?" And he said, "You're stuck in the 1860s." I can imagine how my mum's face looks.
Absolutely, yeah.
I thought I was so trendy, you know, and up to date.
Oh, you'll soon be talking like a teenager once you've been onto one of these Skype or Messenger or something like this, and you'll be texting away, and you'll have to learn text language, you know. You don't.
Yes, I realised you were saying something there earlier on. I can't recall what it was, but it was double Dutch to me. A term, you
Well,
know.
to be honest, a lot of the text language is double Dutch to me. I don't understand all these acronyms. In fact, when I was on the computer quite early on, LOL is quite a common acronym, and I thought it meant lots of love.
Oh.
And so I was texting to all sorts of people, putting
love.
sending lots of love instead of lots of love. So they got the completely wrong message, and I do understand some of the rude acronyms that people put to me, and there's always an F in there somewhere, you know. But, I don't understand many of them, and I don't actually use them.
No. All right then.
Is
Well-
there anything else you want to say or ask?
No, I'm delighted, Peter, that you've made us so welcome. I've never been to Derbyshire before,
Well, that's wonderful.
and it's beautiful. I mean, it's dark now, but you know, it was lovely coming up. We had
Thank
a
you.
lovely.
We had a lovely time.
It's been lovely having you, and you know you're always welcome.
Thank
and,
you very much.
Nneka
Thank
and
you.
I, of course, have met before.
We
and,
have indeed.
Now I've met Mum, and
That's right.
that's lovely.
And now
Thank
you can give us the permission to get married.
Well, I did.
You
I
might
did,
have competition.
Oh, well, I have.
I did ask her, and I think she might be putting a video up where I asked her. I don't know.
And now that you see my mum, I'm out of the picture.
Ah.
Oh dear.
Well, you did bring some lovely food over with you, didn't you? And some cream and jam on your scones, and you're trying to win your way.
Yeah, my mum can cook, I can't, you
The
see.
way to a man's heart is through his stomach, yes.
But I can ride a motorbike, Peter, so...
Oh, well, how do I choose? How do I choose? I mean, you've got a Yamaha twin. I mean, how do I choose?
Oh, dear.
You don't ride a bike.
A push bike?
Right. Okay. Well, it's up to you, Nneka, when you want me to click this little button that ends it and say goodbye to them.
Goodbye to all the
Bye.
YouTubers, and a happy new year, and all the best for 2008.